Australia was an amazing season opener featuring many great moments that still have us talking to this day. And overall, what a great weekend that was. Whole point of me saying this was that China was never going to live up to the last weekend, but that doesn't mean this weekend was going to be bad necessarily, right? Plus, it is a sprint weekend, the first one of the year, and cool, I guess. There are many bits from China that keep this track on the calendar, such as money, I mean the long ass straight that harbors overtakes, more money, I mean the passionate fans that low-key carry the weekend, and even more money, I mean the tight and twisty turns that, at least in these regulations, suit the car's raceability nice around here. In the previous regs, this track sucked massively since it was dirty air galore and a race where you genuinely forgot it happened. However, these new regs actually benefit the track quite well. We all remember that glorious battle from last year in the sprint, and all I'm saying is, if this was like 2019 or 2020, that battle would never have even looked close to happening. So point is, despite past troubles with this track, we can actually see something very nice this weekend thanks to the new regs. So was that the case, or did I yap for nothing right now? Keep watching to find out. So I'm gonna stop talking. Join the Discord for good fun and watching these races live, and subscribe if you're new or a piano will fall on you. So enough yapping, and here are the winners and losers of China.
See those clouds up in the corner? That's where the rain is coming from.
Recap versus always, and in case you missed me saying it, this weekend is a sprint weekend, which means double the quali and race, and maybe double the boringness or excitement. Anyways, let's go into FP1, the only free practice session before the real stuff. These poor rookies, man. FP1 will be calm for the most part. You have your usual free practice shenanigans like drivers going wide, drivers spinning, and McLaren's boring asses ruining everything they touch. Yeah, by far that McLaren car is the fastest, which doesn't exactly make anyone excited for the weekend, but hey, this is F1 post 2023. For all we know, Hadjar can be on sprint pole and Alex Palau can win the Grand Prix on Sunday. So we move into the sprint quali now, and with McLaren looking fastest, Max Verstappen F1 team not looking too hot, Ferrari looking strangely better, and Mercedes being there, let's see who gets the first sprint pole of the year. SQ1 starts pretty tame all things considered, with McLaren for sure looking fastest, and both Red Bulls, yes, both Red Bulls, looking better than expected, and the order seemed pretty set in stone, but oh no, I was wrong. Liam Lawson does what he does best, which means for the second weekend running, he is out in Q1. Oh boy, oh boy. Also, we will see impressive performances from the rookies like Gabby, who outqualifies Hulk again, and Behrman actually remembering he's goated and not trash. SQ2 would be pretty boring with nothing really noteworthy other than Sainz continuing to look strangely slow compared to Albon, but other than that, really nothing. SQ3 time, and this one would be kind of big. I mean, it's just a sprint stuff, so how big is it really? Anyways, it'll be whatever until the final laps. It'll be surprisingly ultra tight since while that McLaren is still fastest, it's not by much, and it showed. Ferrari were threatening them, and in the hands of Mr. K1, it was enough for pole position. Now, whoa, what happened to McLaren? Well, Piastri was kind of whatever, and Norris, well, you know this story already. Max would lock out the front row along with Lewis, and it seemed we were in for yet another sprint banger from China. Lap 1 of the sprint race would start, and there'd be some changes around the grid, such as the rookies or whatever, but Lando Norris? Boy, oh boy. And other than that, this race would be boring as hell. I mean, there was Liam coming back through the grid, but every time his car appeared on screen, there were more things missing from it, and Stroll being the go and holding Lando back, but yeah, nothing. This would be amazing though, since even though Pastry did overtake Max, Lewis would win the sprint race, and more accurately, dominate the sprint race. And this is just aura, dude. Lewis is a winner in Ferrari. I'm gonna bust. Also, there was a weird thing at the end between Gabby and Doohan, but who cares to be honest. So with that, let's move on to the real qualifying. Q1 would start, and so would Jack Doohan's talks to leave the team by April. I'm exaggerating obviously, but he did have a spin, which is no real biggie yet. Anyways, Q1 wouldn't feature any big surprises other than the Racing Bulls looking faster than Red Bull, but hey, at least Max was able to qualify nicely. Liam, on the other hand, bro, this isn't even Checo or Gasly levels. This is worse. Bro is in at least the third or fourth fastest car and has qualified 18th, 20th, and 20th again. Your time in the sport was nice, Liam, but its wraps are cooked. Anyways, Q2 time, and literally nothing happened other than Antonelli messing up turn 1, but not like it matters since he actually has the skill to make it through. However, I do want to mention two things: Racing Bulls and Carlos Sainz. Clearly, VCarb took whatever crack or ketamine Williams had in Australia, since these guys are genuinely on par or close enough to Max, which is just absolutely comical. And what is going on with Carlos Sainz? If Suzuka isn't better, dare I say we need to fraud watch him from there on out. Anyways, now for Q3, and other than Kimi Antonelli pushing too hard again, nothing really, since Q3 always finds some way to be the most boring session. So yeah, Oscar Piastri takes his first ever pole position in the sport. So with Piastri and his McLaren car looking fast, Lando's car looking fast, can't say the same about Lando, George Russell looking very competitive, Max ever looming, and the Ferrari's tire wear advantage, dare I say we're on for a good race? Let us start with lap 1, and it starts pretty hectic all things considered. Russell launches well, but Piastri covers him off, which allows Lando to go through to second. Max also gets a bad start, and Leclerc gets damaged, so breathe easy now. A couple laps go by and Alonso retires due to his brakes breaking, and man, the fall off of Aston Martin will be historic. Other than Bortoleto spinning, there wouldn't be much action, just management, which I'm sure won't be the entire race. Anyways, first pit stops happen, and other than Kimi Antonelli getting done by Haas and Russell storing past Lando for like 3 laps or so, nothing much, which hey, at least it's not totally boring, right? I lied, it's boring as hell, since even though Leclerc is cooking with his damaged nerf, which is actually a buff, man, this racing is so slow. So yeah, nothing happened. So Oscar Piastri takes his first dub of the year with Lando and George finishing off the podium. Please change this track. Now for the winners and losers, and we start with the losers first, and first up is Liam Lawson. Bro, I really have nothing to say about Liam. I already said it, but this is genuinely the worst a Red Bull driver has ever looked since 2018. At least Checo was like 14th, at least Gasly was 12th, at least Albon was 13th. Like, Liam, you cannot be qualifying on full merit in P20. That is not only abysmal, but genuinely embarrassing. And if this keeps up, bro is not seeing Miami, and that's at the very latest. Next is Sainz, and what is going on with him? In preseason, this guy was looking rapid. In Australia, he was looking rapid until the race, and now in China, this guy is just flat out slower than Albon. Everyone thought Albon was going to get wiped by Sainz, but dare I say it's the complete opposite so far. I have no doubt this is just some minor slump and Sainz will be back, but this weekend, while he wasn't necessarily bad, he was just on the back foot and could have been much more better for the team. Let's hope he gets another organ removed soon. Next up, I have Aston Martin, and again, they weren't that bad, but man, this is just sad. If you're an Aston fan defending P11 through P15, take a look in the mirror, come back to me. Just last year, Alonso was in the top 5 fighting, and now this year, this guy is nowhere. If there is any consolation, at least Stroll wasn't tardy this year and was actually kind of cooking in the sprint, but come on. These guys used to be kings in the midfield and pushing Max, but compare that to now where these guys are getting cooked by a racing bull. Again, if you're defending this, you are lost, and that is coming from a Ferrari fan. Moving on is Alpine, and there's really nothing to look at or analyze. Sprint quali was mid, sprint race was bad, quali was bad, and the race was mid. It's really just skill issue this weekend, but let's see if they actually fell off in Japan. So yeah, nothing else to say. Oh wait, actually there is. Jack Doohan was hot ass this week. In the sprint quali, he had that weird crash as well as a spin later on. Like, what was bro cooking this weekend? Please prove Flavio wrong, Jack, please. Finally, I have Sauber, since while their weekend started fine, it seems that every passing day led to worse and worse things for the team. The race was especially horrible since Hulk fell down to 18th from 12th, and Bortoleto had a spin in the early laps, which all but ruined their race. But hey, they still looked better than last year, so there's that, I guess. But overall, mid weekend from the green cars. Now for the winners, and I start with Oscar Piastri. Norris was great, don't get me wrong, but Piastri had that extra element, man. He got his first pole in his career and managed the race extremely well. Let us not forget the sprints as well, where he qualified well and got second. He had one of his best weekends as a McLaren driver here, and every single year, he is becoming better and better in the sport. McLaren could have a driver problem soon, but hey, not my problem. I'm here for the entertainment, so let's see how things progress. Next is Lewis Hamilton, and in the sprints and real stuff, he was great in my opinion, especially the sprints. He got pulled by the narrowest of margins and took the dub with no competition whatsoever. That second half of the sprint where he just blitzed away while everyone else was complaining about tires was majestic, and I hope he keeps this up. While the quali and especially the race wouldn't see the same results, he still performed really well, and if the car can just become a bit more faster, all I will say is let him cook. Moving on is George Russell, and stop doubting him. I have had it with the Russell slander. George is top 3 on the grid. Yes, top 3. I am being so serious. People clown George for throwing at times, but was 2024 not enough? In 2024, he more often than not got the maximum from the Merc car, and 2025 seems to be a continuation from that. I am being so serious when I say that George, given a faster car, will push for the title at the very least, and I am waiting for the day he gets a title and proves everyone wrong. Holy glaze session. But yeah, sprints were great, race and quali were fantastic, so let's see how his season progresses. Finally, I have Max Verstappen, of course. Shit car? No problem. Max gets the result he wants despite his car's performance, and if he keeps this up, even if he doesn't win the title, he will be the best driver this season since he just outperforms the car and proves to everyone why he is the best driver on the grid, and dare I say, top 5 of all time. Now for my bonus category, and I choose the sprint winners and losers, which are more winners and losers. Yes, this is a legit category, and I choose Leclerc, Stroll, and Lando as winners and no one as losers. Leclerc winner because he cooked in the race finally until the final laps. Stroll winner because that first stint was genuinely really good, and Lando winner because the same reasons as Leclerc, except he actually cooked all the way through. Okay, before we go, let's check how mine and your predictions went. My sprint predictions were thankfully wrong. My quali predictions were wrong, but hey, at least Max was right. My race predictions were right, but out of order. Finally, my random prediction was definitely true. Also, for your predictions, it seems that we were all wrong, but when are we not? Finally, let's check my bingo card, and no updates yet. And those were my winners and losers from the Chinese Grand Prix. Overall, a pretty tame weekend with highlight results, but not really any highlight action, which is fine. But now we wait 1 week before we get back underway in Japan. Thankfully, the last night race for me until Vegas. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to all members of the flock for their continued support, and make sure to join in if you want cool benefits as well as just helping me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe since it really helps me out. Make sure to let me know in the comments who your winners and losers are. And as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.